What's up, everybody, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of Lockdown 23-1. That's right, today we're going to be talking about a very sensitive topic. That is correct. Very sensitive and touchy. That is going to be about dropping dime, where they sit in the room, black room, with the black blur over their head and voice changer on their throat, and they're just sitting there telling you everything about something in the dark. Yeah, so I just want to tell you, I know exactly what happened, man. I'm going to tell you everything you want to know. Anything, the ins and outs about this situation. I just want you all to know everything that I know right now. Kind of like that. So, yeah, we're going to be talking about dropping dime and the perfect time to do it when it needs to be done, okay? This is not so much about prison. Like I said, in prison, in my other videos and stuff, you're in the closed quarters and you can't really get away from it. So you gotta be surrounded by, you just don't do it in prison, man. I recommend you not do it at all. But if you're on the streets and stuff like this happens, I'm gonna talk to you about, please, by all means, follow my footsteps, okay? First story is about a guy that I knew. Both were good friends of mine. They're driving in the car. The driver had a gun. And, sooner or later, the cop pulls him over. It always happens, man. Don't ride freaking dirty. Don't be stupid, man. I understand sometimes you might need it for protection. You really do some places. But geez, man, come on. If you don't need it, please stop riding dirty. Anyways, these guys out here, they're driving, they get pulled over, and the cop pulls them out. The driver handed the passenger the gun before, the cop came up. He's like, hide the gun, hide the gun. And the guy pushes his gun back to him. He's like, nah, man, you take the gun, take the gun. And these are good friends arguing with each other about this gun, and all the guy wanted him to do was hide it. He didn't hide it, gave it back to him. They get caught with the gun. Okay, he threw it in the back seat, so it's either one of theirs guns. Now at this point with the cop. The cop found the gun, arrested him, and they started questioning him. And he's like, nobody was saying it was their gun. So what happens? The cop's gonna arrest both of them, fingerprint the gun in jail, and figure out whose gun it was. Plain and simple. So, piece of advice, never touch someone else's dirty stuff, okay? Whether it be a big bag of drugs or a gun. Don't touch it, man. If it's not yours, don't touch it, because that's gonna leave prints. If you do, you better rub it off. Anyways, so they both went to jail for this charge. If it was me, and we were both cuffed up, and I found out sooner or later, as a cop keeps coming back and forth to us, and he keeps telling me it's not his gun. Look, bruh, if you're gonna ride dirty, okay, you better be ready to hold that, okay? You better be ready to wear that charge, because I swear to God, if it was me, I would have broke those cuffs and I would have went after him, bro. Straight up. That's some dirty stuff, man. Take personal responsibility for your stuff, man. You're gonna have to wear it, okay? That's just how it is. If you can't wear that, don't be carrying it, okay? You're gonna risk my life? Don't risk my life over your bull crap, man. Anyways, so I told this guy, I said, man, he told me a story, and he takes me as like I'm very wise, I've been here and done that more than he has, but I've never been in that situation. But I told him my input. And I told him, I said, hey, bruh, you better go tell your lawyer that it ain't yours and it's his. Straight up. But then I told him also, I said, I only think that's going to work because y'all's both prints are on there. So, I mean, really, there's no point of even trying to fight it. So, what happened? They both got a gun charge. Both of them. Because they both started telling on each other and the courts just couldn't figure out who's who. So, guess what? They both wore that gun charge. 2 people got time for 1 gun. Now, in my eyes, I feel like something went wrong in the judicial system. But you know what? They're both idiots. Idiots. Okay? I would have done that whole situation completely different. So that's one scenario on how you should drop dime. Especially if your homeboy is trying not to wear his charge, man. That's completely uncalled for. Anyways, the next one is something personally that happened to me. I literally saw something happen and I had to call the cops. And it was weird, man. I felt like Paw Patrol. It was fun though, I'll tell you what. So anyway, check it out. I was going to school to pick up my kids, right? And there's another little girl there that picks up her sister from school. She's like 15, and she picks up her little 6-year-old sister. And she comes get her, and the girl comes in with a smile, running to the sister and stuff. And the sister just mushes her to the side and just walks straight out. And the kid follows, and she doesn't even hold the door open for her or nothing. I'm tripping out right now. I'm like, what the heck? This girl is a piece of trash. So I didn't say nothing. I just waited for my kids. My kids showed up late as usual, running around the freaking bookcases and stuff. And I'm like, man, come on. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, we start to leave. We go home. And I'm pulling out the parking lot, and I'm taking a left to go home. And I see that teenager walking that little kid. And what I saw next, I couldn't believe it. This girl with a backhand, this girl was playing hopscotch, walking along with the kid, and little kid was doing the hopscotch, holding on her, and then all of a sudden she just closed fist, backhands this little 5-6-year-old, and the hair goes flying in the freaking air, whiplash, and then she drops down to one knee, man. Hey, look, when I saw, everyone at the intersection saw it and was in shock. I was the only one that popped a Yui. Only one, man. Pathetic, man. Pathetic society that we live in. I popped a Yui and it took every ounce of me. My kids were all into it too, man. They're like, speed up, go faster, go slower. Slow down, there she is. I'm like, oh, shut up. I'm like, shut up. Sit back. Put on your seatbelt, dang. And then I make a U-turn. I pull in. It takes every ounce of me not to get out of that car, man. I swear it does. And finally, I call 911. And I'm like, look. This girl just freaking punched this little 5-year-old in the head, and I'm telling you, I was so hard to where I had to call the cops, and that's why I'm calling y'all. But the crazy thing is, before I called them, they put me on hold. Okay, I've never been put on hold like this. She said something really fast and said, "Can you hold, please?" And then I had to check my phone to make sure that I called 911 and not some kind of sales department, because I was on hold for like 10 minutes. And then finally she goes, "Thank you for calling 911 dispatch. What's your problem?" And, something like that. And I'm like, look, this girl, I'm driving my kids home from school, and I saw this little girl walking this girl home from school, and she freaking punched her in the head. And she punched her hard. And I'm just trying to make sure this doesn't happen again. And so they called a unit, and I'm staying on the phone with her, and she's like, what's your location, sir? And I got into it. I felt like I was playing Call of Duty, man. I was like, I'm taking point on sector 5.99er. The package is hot. It's coming 50 yards inbound due south. That's how I was, man. I was like, hey. But I was like a GPS, man. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm heading. But, I was following the girl. And finally the cops showed up, man. I told myself, yeah, that's her right there, man. You need to go handle that. And, they're looking at me like, dang, I can't believe this guy even called the freaking cops. He's nuts, He looks like he might be up to no good. We might have to just keep him here. And of course, you know what they do when they come back after going to the girl's door? They go to the girl's door, and she doesn't deny it or nothing. She admits it. She goes, yeah, I just lost it. The girl was being sassy, and I just lost it. At least she admitted it. So they talked to the parents and whatnot from what they said. But when they came back to tell me this stuff, what did they say first? This is how I just knew they were judging a book by its cover. They said, okay, sir, yeah, we handle it, but first, can I get your ID, sir? Why do you need my ID? Like, for real? What the hell do you need my ID for? But you know what? I gave him my ID, because I don't care for real. But in my head, I was like, you don't need my ID. I know what's going on here. So they run my little name really quick, and that and third, I'm good. It's very scary anyway. I'm always freaked out when they run my name, but, problem solved. I dropped dime. And it felt good to make sure that kid realized she can't be laying hands on a little kid like that. Just imagine what she's doing at home when no one's looking. If she did that in a wide open area where everyone can see in the intersection, just imagine what kind of abuse that little kid's going through at home. And I'm telling you, I feel sorry for anyone has went through that kind of household. And, I don't know. That stuff just shouldn't happen. A kid should be treated like a kid. And that's what the big problem is nowadays. People treat their kids like they're friends or adults. We gotta treat our kids like kids, man. They are just little babies. They're kids. They don't know no better. And they shouldn't know no better because they are children. And children need to have a great life. So those are the two scenarios, you know, where dropping dime is actually the right thing to do. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this episode. I just want you to remember that there's always a place and time to talk, okay? There is a verse in the Bible, believe it or not, that says it. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 7. There is a perfect time to talk and a perfect time to be silent. Remember that. Until the next time, death I bring.